My name's Hildebrandt. I've actually been in this church almost all of my life. This has been our home. This is where our kids have grown up. This is where we're happy. End of last year, my boss sent me a message asking if I could jump onto a video conference call real quick. As soon as I got on the call, I realized the call probably wasn't going to go real well for me. The company was going through a reorganization nationwide. There's going to be a lot of changes. At the age of 62, 20 plus years on my job, my position was being eliminated. I was being laid off. The next few weeks before my last day, I was able to talk to a lot of people, and of course the question always came up, how am I doing? And it's like, you know what? I am not worried about this. I know that God has a plan. Now I actually have some time where I can spend some time with God. That has been probably the big blessing with this. Reading devotions, reading the Bible, memorizing scriptures, just being open and listening to God. And that has really been a blessing. That has given me a lot of peace. I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip to Thailand, and as part of that, we're invited to go to this another small country. It's a country where it's actually illegal to share your faith about Jesus. We got to meet these two men. We asked them a question about how many times they had been arrested for sharing the gospel. And they're sitting there and they're laughing and they're like starting to count on their fingers, trying to remember how many times they've been thrown in jail. And it was like it wasn't even a big deal. They never really had considered how many times. It was just, for them, it was sharing God's kingdom was what was important. In this photo I have of these two guys laughing, there is another young man sitting behind them. He'd become a Christian not long before we'd gotten there. And immediately upon becoming a Christian, he had gone out and started talking to his friends and neighbors, telling them about Christ, and was promptly thrown in jail for doing that. In order to get out of jail, they had to pay this large fine to get him released. And literally, as they are paying the fine and releasing him from jail, he decides to start sharing the gospel with the police officers who had arrested him. Their willingness to share the gospel in spite of the hardship was just amazing to me. When you lose a job, one of the first things you do is you try and cut back all of your expenses. And one of the big expenses that we have is giving. And we've always found a lot of joy in doing that. When we think about our friends who were so willing to make these sacrifices of their freedom, we start to think about our giving. And it's like, why would we not be willing to give financially and make some sacrifices there? They're willing to give up their freedom for the spread of the gospel. Giving away money just seems like a really minor sacrifice to us at this point. I was reading a while back in Matthew chapter 6, and it basically commands us, don't worry about what you're going to eat, don't worry about what you're going to drink, don't worry about what you're going to wear. God knows that we need all those things, and He promises that He's going to take care of us. He's going to give us the daily bread that we need. But what He does also command us to do is to seek His kingdom. And so that's, I think, really what we have been trying to focus on, is seeking God's kingdom through this time and allowing God to work His plan in our lives.